Hello and welcome back to my scraproom. My name is Jennifer Perry and I am an independent consultant with Close to My Heart. And today we get to play with the very first paper pack out of the new Seasonal Expressions catalog that starts May 1st and it is live until August 31st. The first paper pack that we're going to use is called Beautiful Friendship, and it is right here. This is the paper right here. The colors are Bashful, Canary, Heather, Linen, Sapphire, Smoothie, and White Daisy. And this paperback kind of has a little bit for everybody. You've got florals, you've got geometrics, you've got circles, you've got stripes, you've got little flags, you've got teacups, you've got tiny little flowers, you've got a little bit bigger flowers. It just has a little bit for everybody, and it is very... well, it kind of says Spring Tea Party, which is what it says to me. And with the workshop, you receive a full pack of paper. You receive a full pack of compliments, which are right here. These are the compliments. A roll of the white ribbon. A package of the Beautiful Friendship bows, which let me hold those up so you can see them. Look at those, how cute. Ooh, these are, ooh. Those are fairly thick, look at that. I haven't opened the package yet. Look at that, that's kind of nice. And they're kind of squish proof. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. And then you receive printed, professionally printed instructions along with the photo placement cards. If you are working with the workshop without your photos, the photo placement cards come in really, really handy, because they show you where to put your photos at a later date. I will be using those because I don't have photos for these yet. Why am I putting these away? I don't know why I'm putting those away. They don't need to be put away yet. So, let's get started, shall we? Now, I made a couple of... I can't say that I made a couple of improvements, because it may not be an improvement based on what you want, but I made a couple of changes. First off, this is just a regular paper doily that I cut in half. You can find them in the baking section, you can find them in the craft section. I cut it in half and I sprayed it with my Sparkle Shimmer Spritz. This is not a Close to My Heart product. This is an Amazon purchase that I do. I have these all over my room because I appear to be addicted to them. If it doesn't have sparkle on it, I put sparkle on it. If you do not have this product and you only have a few things you want to sparkle up, our shimmer brush is fantastic. It is basically this liquid in a brush. I love it. So I use this on my smaller items. I use this on my bigger items. To me, they go hand in hand. I've got 101 of them all over my room. So I basically just took a 6-inch doily, sprayed it, let it dry overnight, cut it in half. The other thing that I did, and I was going to show you the process, but I was listening to a book and I got all excited and I was just happy to be creating, and I finished it. So I wasn't able to show you the process, but I will tell you the process. On the banner paper, there are lines of where the banners are. I went through and stitched very delicately a line on the banners. Now what I did is, normally when I'm stitching, I take my thread and I do, because the thread is 6 skeins or 6 strands per skein, I separate down to 3. And then when you fold it over, it turns into 6 again. That's my standard stitching thickness. But for these, because the lines are so delicate and you're working with 1-ply paper, I broke it down to 2 strands. So out of 1 skein, I was able to get 2, 4, 6 sets of thread to work with, which was great when I was doing these. And then when you fold it over, you've got 2, fold it over, that turns into 4. That was the perfect thickness for this line. And I was able to use every bit of it, so I didn't have to worry about, oh, I've got this itty bitty bit of thread that's only 2 strands. What am I going to do with it? So that is the change that I made here. And as you can see, it just adds a little bit of dimension. Does not add any weight. But because it was also 1-ply paper, I had to be very gentle with it. So just be mindful of that. So between the doily and the stitching, I did those last night. So we're going to start off with my eyeballs. And I need one of these there, one of these there, one of these there, one of these there, one of those there, one of those there, and then I need 4x4, 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 4x6, 4x6. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to set this one aside. And I'm going to pull this one over, and I'm going to move the photo placement cards because I don't need them quite yet. Now my thought process is, I'm wondering if I would like to stitch here. Or I'm wondering if that would be too much stitching. I think I am, because on the example, the white ribbon goes here on the photo. I don't have the photo yet. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that with the photo, so I think I'm going to go ahead and add the stitching so that when I do the photo, there's still a little bit more texture right there. So let's do that. So first things first, tack it down. Don't need a whole lot of adhesive because the thread is going to be doing the majority of the work. I still would like to know how you've got a 12x12 piece of paper going down onto a 12x12 piece of paper and you still get overhang. I haven't figured that part out. Still don't need a whole lot because I'm going to stitch this part too. So let's break out my stitching supplies and I will show you what I do. My first one is just a piece of 12x12 corkboard. I picked this up at Staples. I like it. Every scrapbooking company has their own stitching pad, for lack of a better word. Some of them are long and skinny, some of them are a little bit bigger. I prefer the cork because A, it's cheap, and B, it totally fits a 12x12 piece of paper. So I can scoot this wherever I need it, and it works. And then the second item that I have is my handy dandy Fiber Friend. The Close to My Heart ruler, I have it, I use it, but this, I gravitate to this one every single time. I like the spacing on this one. The Close to My Heart ruler has nice spacing, but this is the one that I've been using for 15 years and I keep gravitating back towards it. And I also have my Close to My Heart pokey stick, and we'll get to this thread in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my push pins out. Maybe. Okay. Come on guys, cooperate. Cooperate, please. Now you've seen me do this before. What I'm doing is just lining up with the edge of the paper. I'm putting one push pin in the starter hole, but I'm not going to put the other one at the very end. I'm going to put it one hole over to make sure that my threading will be square. And let's start poking holes. Okay, so we need to turn the corner. So we're going to line up with the hole that the push pin was in. We're going to make sure we're on the bottom, that everything is lined up on the bottom. Now we can go to that end hole, if that makes sense. And again, on this side, we're not going to go to the end, we're going to go to the one over. You know, I really need to learn not to use clear push pins so that when I drop them on the carpet, I can find them. So how many of you guys watched the video that my husband did on the scrap room build? He was so cute. I couldn't help it. I had a very hard time keeping up with him. It was not scripted, as you could tell. But he was just so excited to show you what he was doing and what he was building and what he was fixing after pulling off a whiteboard off the wall. Okay, now we're going to turn the corner. I don't think I'm going to put the threading on this side because it would make it a box. I want it to be open and flowing. Does that make sense? Now, because it's square, I can go ahead and put this on the end hole. So I can put where I want my last stitch to be, right there. Because it's the end line of what we're poking. I used the same template, and you can use the Close to My Heart template also to do these lines. I just basically had the template follow the curve of the line, and I had the line, once it was center in the hole, then I knew that's where I wanted my hole to be. So I would poke the hole and just kind of played with the ruler till I had the angles that I wanted. Took a while, and I've never done it that way before, which is one of the reasons why I did not film it. So the color here is canary. So I'm going to pull my canary thread. As you can see, it's going to be tone on tone. Lock my thread box in case I knock that table, because I do not want my thread going all over the place. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys how I separate my thread down so that you understand the process. And then I'm going to turn a book on. And I'm going to sew and listen to a book and speed this up so that you don't have to sit here and watch this for 12 years. So what I'm doing is, this is 6 strands all together. And I want to separate it down to 3 strands. It's normally very easy. My nails are a little bit longer. So there, I've got it separated. So I'm going to do the whole length of the thread. Okay, so this one, we now have 2 lengths of thread. So I'm going to just wind this one up around my fingers because I'm going to be using it. If I wasn't using it, I would put it back on the spool, but I'm going to be using it. It's fairly easy to see when they're on the little bobbin which ones are 6 and which ones are 3s. Trying to find my favorite needle. So once I thread this, and pull it back through, when I double it back over, it is back to 12 or 6 strands again. So now it's back to its original width. Does that make sense? I'm going to just start the hole, pop it over, and tape it down. I prefer tape because it doesn't make it quite so bulky on the other side. You may use a French knot, you may use whatever method of keeping this on the paper you choose. I just happen to prefer tape. And it's just going to be a simple in and out stitch. So I'm going to turn a book on, I'm going to listen to a book, I'm going to speed this up, and we'll get things going. Okay, well that didn't take too terribly long. So I'm going to take my cork away and 4x6, 4x4, and 4x4. Now you're saying, whoa, 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 whoa. Where's the pretties? I'm working on it. Hold your horses a second. Okay, so I've got... Yep, that's it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take this doily, which is actually supposed to go right there, but I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to take this doily and put it right there. And because there is layering and sparkle, I'm going to use some score tape just to give it a little bit of extra holding power right there. That's going to go there. But before I put it down, that'll work. I have a small selection of dots and enamels and whatchamadoodles. Okay, I just noticed I put this on the wrong side. It's okay. I will still get the gist whenever I put the photo down. It will just make me giggle. Now I use a craft knife to put down my sparkles. You may use whatever method is comfortable for you. You do not have to use a craft knife, but if you choose to, please be mindful that this is a blade. It is very sharp, and I have cut myself on it before, so just be very careful with it. Okay, so now I'm going to Now, for those of you that are saying, hey, the doily's not archival safe, I know. It's okay. Every now and then I venture and I'm okay not using archival. If my photos happen to make it to 100 years, I will be very happy. But the likelihood of that is not really good in my family, so. So there is side one. I will give you a... Okay, so I'm going to set it aside and let's get side two. Move your photos, move journaling card, and we are going to do the same thing we just did on the other side on this one with the stitching. By the way, if you're wondering what book I am listening to, I'm listening to an old friend. It is Rapture and Death by J.D. Robb. I have all of the in-depth books on Audible. And no, this is not a paid endorsement of Audible.com. It's not a paid endorsement of J.D. Robb. I just happen to adore the books, and they seem to be my go-to books whenever I'm crafting. Murder mysteries seem to make me craft a little bit faster. So that is what I stick with whenever I'm working. Sometimes I like to listen to the Bride Quartet. Sometimes I like to listen to... Wow, I kind of sort of stick to Nora Roberts and J.D. Robb whenever I'm crafting. But it's okay. So we're going to do the exact same procedure we did before. I'm going to go ahead and just speed it up. I talked you through it last time. Speed it up, work through it, and I'll be right back. So that is it for the stitching portion of our fun. I'm going to put my canary away real fast before I lose it. And my corkboard. So we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side with this one. Very easy peasy. Sometimes just adding a bit of an unexpected embellishment can jazz up a typical, I don't want to say ho-hum layout because they're not ho-hum, but sometimes we get, sometimes we get stuck in a rut on what layouts we're working on. And adding just a wee bit of something different can sometimes make things sparkle. Okay, so I'm going to put you there. I have lost my photo squares. Hello? There they are. Okay, so I want to give this one enough room to have the doily on there because I don't want to cut it. Bring that one down half a little bit because I want room for the ribbon. Okay. Just like this. I tell you one thing, I am so happy that Close to My Heart came out with these photo squares because I was one that would have to make them out of White Daisy cardstock. And these are much lighter in paperweight than cardstock. So I'm not adding any extra weight to my layout. And I can still see what photo needs to go where. So for my purposes, these are perfect for me. If you are one that likes to do layouts ahead of time and then go back in and pop the photos in later, I can see where this would be perfect for you also. I'm going to go ahead and just take some blush dots that do not come in the kit, but if you have a past workshop, you possibly have these with you. So I'm going to go ahead and take some blush dots and pop them around. Do I want over there? Yeah, I do. just to add a little bit more something. Now this is the set of dots that doesn't want to come off the carrier sheet. Okay, so let me show you what we just did. Now, if you're doing the original layout, there is going to be ribbon here with a bow. So you tie a bow in the ribbon, there's going to be a ribbon there with a bow. And there's going to be ribbon here with a bow. I don't want to put the ribbon down because obviously I don't have photographs. But for myself, I may go in with the ribbon just to add an extra layer of texture. Or sometimes what I've been known to do is go in with just white daisy DMC thread and just stitch a design through the photo, through the mat, through everything, and just add another layer of texture that way. There is something missing right here. What is that? Oh, it's those. Okay, hold on. I'm missing a section. There, that works better. There were two little tags I was missing. Is there anything else that I'm missing? It does not appear. Okay. So this is layout 1, or page 1 of layout 1. This is page 2 of layout 2. And this is them together. So as a recap, we did stitching, we did paper doilies, we did some extra blush dots that I had from another kit to kind of upgrade this Workshop Your Way and make it a little bit more me. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments. If you would like to be notified of new videos once a week on Sundays, please subscribe. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed today. Have a great week. Bye-bye.